Good morning, everyone. Now we're going to transition here from talking about stuff below ground to talking about a few things above ground. Let's go ahead and start there. I am the director with the Prairie Enthusiasts. We are a regional land trust. The important part is the S in that is that we are a grassroots organization that works throughout a large area but has a very focused mission on fire-dependent communities. These are areas that were, in essence, born of fire, and over the past, 100 years or so, they have drastically dwindled. And now we're really focused on managing and restoring these habitats. With the focus on this area, we certainly have certain types of species that we really focus in on. This is kind of our charismatic megafauna of the insect world, as the regal fritillary, as one of the threatened species that we actually use to manage for. We also do a lot of work trying to expand habitats for, in particular, grassland birds. Some things like upland sandpipers, their habitat is drastically shrinking, and we're trying to create habitat and restore those areas for those species. But another important thing that we do is actually a lot more focused on pollinators. I did want to put a plug. We have our conference coming up March 21st in UW Stevens Point. Heather Holmes is going to be one of our keynote speakers, who is going to talk about the pollinators in the Midwest. Going back in history, though, back in 1970s, we had a bunch of hardcore, Motley Crue here, got together, decided they want to do something for Prairie. They went out and did a burn, burned, about 60 acres off, and Morault Prairie was a property that originally got protected there and now has been transferred to the Prairie Enthusiasts. Back in the 80s, we originally formed. This is the first site we protected. Thomas Wet Prairie is 13 acres. We're now over 30 sites, over 2,500 acres that we've actually owned or have easement on, and our chapters manage, thousands of acres more. Currently, we have 11 chapters that work throughout parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. And in those local areas, there's, local decisions about how they'd like to carry out the mission of management, restoration, protection, and outreach. One of the important things that we do is a lot of burning. We do have burn insurance, and we have a burn policy. The great thing is if we've designed it ourselves, we monitor ourselves, and if we follow good protocol and burn safely, we can burn anyone's property anywhere. Another thing we do is a lot of brush clearing work. This is actually our Coulee Region chapter, and want to put a plug. We got a cooperative agreement with Fish and Wildlife here to be doing hill prairie restoration work here in the Wisconsin part of the Douglas area. And another thing that we spend quite a bit of time on as well is actually creating, expanding, and starting with seed picking in the summer and the fall. We go out, we have our volunteers, and sometimes we actually have paid pickers that go out and collect all of this diversity of seed. Some of this stuff looks low tech, using kiddie pools to dry seed in, but we have some of the most intentional grassland restoration people that I know of in the upper Midwest that are collecting these seeds, putting down hundreds of acres, and each one of these bags out there is that seed that's just been dried, milled up, and put out back on the ground. Each one of those bags could easily be worth retail value of $2,000 to $3,000 a bag. It's all been collected by primarily volunteers or some paid staff people that's going out in the landscape. Here's an example of one of our largest projects. It's our Mounds View grassland. We got over 600 acres of remnants that we're restoring and creating a landscape level, high quality diversity area. It's part of the Military Ridge area. We're partnering with the Nature Conservancy and DNR. One of the amazing success stories, as part of that project, we did a stream bank restoration project, and literally before we could get the seed down, we had whooping cranes in there using the property as part of their area to be in before they took off south for the winter. Right nearby, we have a project here with the parish savanna. We closed on that a year ago. It had been 30 years we'd worked with these landowners to manage this prairie with a dedicated neighbor that we've done easements with, and now we have protected property, connects with Dane County Parks all the way to Blue Mountains. So it's a great partnership together. Other activities we do is we also do a lot of outreach. Each year we have a whole slew of field trips that we offer through our chapters. If you become a member, you'll be able to get a lot more information about those. Our smallest chapter out in southeast Wisconsin has actually started now going out and reaching out and do outreach directly into the school system, and that's one of the most amazing things is that these are really early successional communities, and we've been working at this for 30 years. We're working on this for the future generations, and this is one of the great grandkids of one of our founding fathers out there. At a day event we had last year. So we're out here, trying to do a lot of grassroots conservation on the ground. We do have an office now here in Viroqua, Wisconsin. You can check us out at prairieenthusiasts.org. If you're interested and want to get involved with some great conservation work going on, we'd love to have you. So, thank you.